So I set my community a task, and that was to vote for their top 5 favorite pals out of all 133 pals that are currently in the game, including their variants. We got a turnout of about 1,800 and, a few more as well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the whole list. We're going to start from the very bottom, the least liked, working our way up to the top and finding out what is the most liked pal currently in the game. At the end, I'm also going to throw in a few countries because there's analytics that show the countries top voted. So I want to throw in like the top 10, top 20 of them, just so we can see what like Britain's or what America's top favorite pal is. I think that's going to be really cool. So if you do enjoy this, make sure you whack a like, make sure you're subscribing, and let's jump into it with the very bottom. So in 133rd place is Serpent Terror, the sea serpent that is now living in the desert. 0.03% of the votes. If you liked it, then you are definitely in the minority, but I understand why it's not that loved. The colors aren't great on it. It doesn't really fit the vibe of the desert. If it was diving in and out of the sand, maybe, but it just looks odd. Next up in 132nd is actually a shock. It's the Dinosaur Lux, which is the electric version of Dinosaur. Now, I don't mind the original, but the electric version, the colors are just really dull. I think it's meant to look like a dried out plant. I feel like if it was a ground type, it would make more sense, but it being electric, it doesn't roll with me. I could agree why this one's very low down. The next one, B-Guard, did shock me a little bit. I was not expecting it to be so far down in the list. This isn't a variant or anything. It's apparently just a bee that none of us like. I've said it before, but Elizabeth, I don't mind at all. But the B-Guard just doesn't have that anything like special about it. It's just a small bee. It's just a bodyguard. I can see why it's down here, but I'm still shocked that there's not more bee lovers around there. So in 130 position, Hangyu Christ. Now, I'm actually shocked about this one as well. I really don't mind this variant. It looks like a ghost type of Hangyu. I think the main reason it's down here is just because of the PAL decks, of how it like rips people apart and it hangs people. Maybe that's just a little too dark for some of us. But yeah, another variant that's way down on the list. And Rush Ore is up next, and it's just a bore. I understand fully why it's no one's, well, it's 3 people's favorites, but like the only reason I think this might be your favorite is if you have an emotional attachment. Maybe it's your first rider you've got and you've got a really good speed buff on it and some other crazy passive skills, but it is just a bore. Kelpsie Ignis with only 0.04% of the votes is mind-blowing to me. The seahorses are so cute, but once again, another variant that people just aren't vibing with. I'm going to hope that the regular Kelpsie is just a little bit higher up. Number 127, Robin Quill Terror. Again, another variant. I understand with this one fully. I don't vibe with this guy at all. Robin Quill, I don't mind his design, but this one, again, kind of similar with the Dinosaur looks. The colors are just so dull. The yellowy brown color with the reds and the browns, like it just doesn't vibe with me. He's knocking about in the desert, which I guess does make sense, but I don't know. I think the colors are just a little too dull for this kind of like monster type of game. Bristler with also 0.04% of the votes, I totally agree with. It's not a bad creature design. It's just we've seen it before in every other game that has monsters. There's always a thorny little kind of like princessy lady kind of creature with the thorns, with the hair. It's nothing unique. I don't think it does anything to change the game. I understand why this one's quite low down. With 0.06% of the votes, Surfin', which I'm a little shocked, but at the same time, I guess I'm not. It would probably be the first, like, swimmer we all got, but clearly not enough of us grew an attachment or we got something just better and just moved on to where this dude we just don't have a connection with him, really. Now, this one is a big shock. Elizabeth with just 5 votes. I for sure thought there'd be some bigger Elizabeth fans, but apparently not. Apparently we just don't like the bees. I think this is a great creature. I really do. The design's pretty solid. I love the fact that it has little bee guards with it. This is like the queen bee. But it's your vote, and I'm a little shocked that we're so far down. So with just 5 votes, Sparkit, another one that I'm kind of shocked about. I think mainly because there's a resemblance to another small electric mouse from another game. That's my only reason I could think, because I don't mind this guy. It's a good solid design, but yeah, apparently we don't vibe with this one either. With 0.07%, we've got King Packer Christ. So again, another variant that's really low down. I actually prefer this one to the original Packer, King Packer, but that's just me. It's a big, chunky boy. He's now blue with a crystal crown. Apparently, we just don't like that. In 121st position, Mel Packer. I agree with this one. This is one of them designs I just don't care for. I don't really care for the creature. Obviously, some of you do like it, but me personally, I would have it pretty far down. I don't know. It's just a llama. Its legs are too long. It makes it look weird. I don't know. It creeps me out a little bit. Celery being in a 120th position is a little bit of a shock. I felt for sure people would love this creature, but maybe it's because we see it too early on and there's too much of him that we kind of just overlook it. There's too many Celeries that we can't grow an attachment to it. Now, this one I ain't going to agree with at all. Gobfin, Ignis, I don't like either of these variants, and I don't think they should be this high up. When I did check the poll on the first day, this dude was at the bottom with 0 votes. So 8 of you popped in here and said, yes, I like a weird goblin sharkfish, and I also like him red and on fire. So on par with Gobfin, we've got Who Crates, the owl that comes out at night time. I don't know what it is about this creature. Like there's some I can't put my finger on, but it's a great design, but I just don't like it, and I don't know what it is. Maybe you lot know, but yeah, I don't know, man. I can see why it's down low, but I don't know why, if that makes any sense. With 0.1% of the votes, we've got there Azarobe. I agree. I can see why it's down here. We've seen sea serpents that look exactly like this in most monster capture hunting games and stuff. There's nothing unique. Obviously, there's that bit of controversy with the hair looking like the Pokemon's hair as well. It doesn't do it for me. I can see why a few people like it though, because, you know, they are kind of like pretty and beautiful. But yeah, I agree with that one. Kelpsy being this far down the list is just an atrocity. I think that's the right word. This thing is so cute, but for some reason we just don't vibe with it. Maybe it's just because there's so many creatures better than it. Maybe this would be in your top 6 and it's just missed out. But I'm glad that it got a few votes, because if this was down even further, if this was at the bottom, I think I would cry. Valiet, I think that's how we pronounce it. I've never said this one out loud, but I can see why it's quite far down. I like the Paldex entry of when it was a flower. The castle was getting raided and they kind of like grew out this flower, became the King's Guards. That's really cool, but the design is, I don't know, I think it needs like some weapons in its hands or something. The fact that they're kind of rare spawns as well. I think you find them on the Sanctuary and just the boss form. So they're not freely flying around like some ruins or something, which might make this thing look better. Floppy, however we pronounce this one, I am shocked for, but at the same time, I'm not. I think they tried to go too cute with this creature. They tried to make this creature so cute that everyone would love it. But I think they went, I don't know, like a step too far with maybe the floating, or I'm not sure what it was, but I just feel like they went for the cuteness and they went like cuteness 101%, and it just went too far for people to actually like it. Rib Bunny is another one that shocks me to be this far down. Another cutesy kind of creature, but then again, we do have them clear elements from Sylveon with like the scarf and stuff, so maybe that's thrown a few people off. That's why it's not their favorite. But I would understand if this was a lot higher, but I do understand why it's not. Lespunk Ignis. Now, this is a creature I just don't like. I love the design of them, but I dislike the creature a lot. Apparently, some of you disagree. 0.12% of the votes go to him. He is another variant that's low down. So I wonder where his original one's going to place. Now, this one did shock me massively. Caprita, I don't know if we're saying that right. I've never said that one out loud. Only 0.12% of the votes. This is a really cute creature. It's very unique. It's like a big giant goat, which has a berry bush on the back of it. I'm going to guess we don't like it because of its ability, where it just kind of drops berries, and we all have thousands of berries in our feed-in box things right now. On cuteness level, though, I think it would be a lot higher. So the original Hangyu is a lot higher than its variant, which does make sense. However, I personally think the crystal one looks better in terms of the color. But the original, apparently 11 of you, 0.12% of you like that he just rips people apart. And that's fine. You lot do you. On par with Hangyu, we have Killamari, which I am shocked for. Because Killamari is a squid kind of thing with like a little hat. And I think it's actually really cute. I honestly thought that the squid and octopus lovers would have this rated a lot higher. So I'm a little shocked that it's so far down. With 0.13% of the votes, we've got Cinemoth. Now, I can understand why it's here. The Cinemoth is a great creature, but we've seen moths, we've seen butterflies in other monster games. It's very hard to get them unique, because obviously you have to make them look like a moth/butterfly. I think they've done a really good job with the whole body of it. It's got, you know, legs, arms, it's got a body, it's got a head. In other creature games, they normally just look exactly like a butterfly. So I have to actually say, I think they've done a really good job with Cinemoth. Broncherry Aqua is up next, and this is the variant to Broncherry. So again, we've got the variant that's lower down. I'm going to wonder if we actually see any variants that do better than the original. That's going to be something interesting. But yeah, I don't really like the blue version. I prefer the original myself as well. Flambelle or Flambella, whatever we want to call them, being this far down, I'm kind of sad because I actually really love them. I think they're really cute. I love little candle monsters. Pokemon have, is it Litwick? Digimon have Candlemon. Like, they always look just so cute with a little candle with a face and stuff like, oh, Flambella. I'm glad some of you have voted for Fuddler though, because Fuddler's run is so adorable. He's a cool looking, cute little creature as well, but just seeing him run with his arms behind his back because they're so long and stuff, I can see why some of you voted for him as your favorite. Dazzy, however, I don't like Dazzy. There's just something about him that I just don't like. I think it's the genie vibe. I don't like genies. Genies creep me out a little. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know. Genies are weird, man. But yeah, Dazzy, 0.15% of the votes just there. So Ruby being this far down actually shocked me. I thought Ruby would be very high up, but I'm going to guess the rivalry between Fox Parks and Ruby, both being like 5 foxes, you can both get them early on. I'm going to guess more people have gone towards Fox Parks and Ruby kind of gets thrown aside, which I understand. But aw, Ruby deserves more love than this. Nightwing with 0.18% of the votes. It's just a bird, man. I don't know how people can like Nightwing. All I can think is you've grown an attachment to him. It's your first flyer. You've got some good passive skills. They've helped you explore the map, but I don't know, man. Nightwing is just such a basic bird that every monster game has. It's always like your Pidgeotto. It's the ones you start with, man. Like, I don't know. Personally, for me, I don't vibe with them too much. 101st position is Chickapee, just missing out on the top 100. I'm so glad people voted for Chickapee. It's a chicken. It's just a chicken. There is no thought behind the design. They said we just want a chicken, and it worked on some of us. I actually would have Chickapee like up there in maybe my top 20, not my top 5, but come on, man, it's Chickapee. We all love them. So if my math is mathing, this should be number 100, Mamarest Christ, which I actually prefer this one over the variant. I don't know what it is. I just think it's the icicles like that have grown from the back of it. It's just really cool looking. So I agree with all of you that have voted for him over the other one. So 99th position, getting into the top 100 is Lespunk. Again, I like the design of Lespunk. I just don't like him. If it was him, maybe with a different personality or something, maybe that would be it. But yeah, I can see why some of you like him. I also see why a lot of you didn't vote for him as well. I can't believe Wompo is so far down the list. Now, I think a couple days ago, I'd have agreed with you and had him down here. But I tamed or captured one a few days ago and used it in a boss fight and kind of carrying stuff. And I've kind of fallen in love with him. I think because he's an endgame creature, maybe a lot of us haven't played around with him. We haven't seen him. But this dude should be way higher in the list. And this variant is way better than the grass one, which clearly is higher up somewhere because this dude's so far. Now, I've never said this one out loud. Elfadran, is that what's saying that? I am so shocked this is so far down. A dragon being this far down, and a very unique looking dragon? I am very shocked. I'm also shocked about Woollypop being this far down. The last 3? What the heck has happened? Woollypop, the cute little sheep slash dog slash sheepdog slash dog sheep, covered in cotton candy and stuff. Like, that's such a cool design, man. It really is. I'm also shocked that Gobfin, the original, is so high up. I detest this creature. This one and the fire one would be like probably bottom of my list. Choco, though, the design on this is Fire Flame. I love how derpy he looks. I love the colors on him, and I love that he's like a weird blow myself up and shoot rockets or egg rockets out my butt. It's such a crazy creature when you say it out loud. Imagine trying to describe that to someone. Hey, come play Palworld. They have this bird that shoots rocket eggs out of its butt, but it can also blow up. It's also derpy, but he looks cool. Jolthog, the original, which does mean the crystal one is higher up, which I am very shocked about. I don't mind the design for Jolthog. I don't mind him in general. The only thing I don't like is the little cat sound it makes, because if I'm playing the game and I kill one of them or do anything to them and they make the cat sounds, all the cats in the house think that someone's been hurt and they have to come and investigate. Tansy with 0.21% of the votes, I agree with. It is cute, but it's very basic. I think I have said this before. Pokemon and Digimon, other monster games have green monkeys, and I feel like Palworld does it the most basic. I just feel like they needed to add something a little extra to him. It's just a green monkey. Also with 0.21%, we've got Thwack, and it is a duck, kind of platypus, I guess. I love the name, Thwack. It's a really cool name, but it is just a duck. Another kind of, it's a basic one, but I can see why some of you do like him. I guess he is an early tame and you've got an attachment to it. Suzuka and the original Suzuka being this low is kind of crazy. I thought people loved this guy. I thought he would be like top maybe 30. So this one's a shock. And it means the Aqua version is even higher up. 89th position, we've got King Packer with 0.22% of the votes. I, for some reason, just do not vibe with King Packers at all. I think it's the boss one's just way too big, and it put me off seeing the small ones, because then the small ones look really, really small. He is very big and fluffy and chunky, and I could see you all just wanting to go and hug him, so I understand why he's got that many votes. With 0.23%, we've got Swee, which means Sweeper, the one with a mustache, is higher up, which is a shock, because I thought the small little cute one would get more votes. I've never said this one out loud. Sibylle with a silent X, maybe? 0.24% of the votes. I love the Powdex entry of this, where it acts like as an umbrella to Fox Parks. I love the design of it. I've just not vibed with it. I don't know why that is, because it's actually a really cool looking dude. But with, yeah, that many votes, it's kind of an average, low average type of tame. Wampo Botan being higher than the original? Bro, what is going on here? I mean, it does look cool. I like the little flower on his head. But, like, he's made of grass and leaves. The other one's made of fluff and fur, and it'd be so much more cuddly. With 0.25% of the votes, we've got Verdash. Now, I detest this creature because this is one of the ones that is directly copied from Pokemon. I don't know how they've got away with it. It is Cinderace. You can't even defend it. For those of you that like it, maybe you've not played Pokemon, but this is the one that I'm shocked they added to the game. And I'm shocked they didn't change it enough to where you can differentiate between the two. So for me, this would probably be last place, but, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Gory Rat being this high up's kind of shocking. So he's just a gorilla. I do think they've done a good job with kind of making it look like a POW and not just a gorilla like an animal. But yeah, 0.26% of you actually think this is one of your favorites. What's even more mind-blowing is Cryolinx. Is that we're saying it? The big spiky dude? I don't vibe with this guy at all, but 0.28% of you think that this is one of the best. If you like big spiky ice dudes, I guess then that ticks off all the boxes. Jolthog Chris being so much higher than Jolthog. Man, really? We like the icy version of the electric hedgehog? I mean, it's still cool, but I just feel like the electric one's just way more better. With 0.31%, we've got Robin Quill, and I actually do like Robin Quill. He's grown on me more and more as I've played. I just like his vibe. I like how he's meant to be like Robin Hood. He's got the bow. He kind of aids humans, so like there'll be like the boys going out hunting and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. In 80th position, we've got Mal Christ, which, all right, I agree with. Mal Christ is pretty cool. I don't think it's higher than the original, so I would actually agree with this. And right next to it, we have another cat, which is Grintail, the Cheshire cat. I like this guy as well. I think he's really cool. I like the big alpha boss version. I like him when he's giant and he does the big body slam. I think he's really cool. Yeah, I love him. I love how his eyes glow at night as well. Gale Claw, though, I don't like Gale Claw. For some reason, they just want to attack me all the time. Even when I'm like 20, 30 levels higher than them, they try and fight me. I know they're meant to be really good for gliding. I've not really been gliding in the game. I just fly and run around and explore that way. But he's a big eagle dude. I could see why people like him. Mozzarina, the cow with the dumb little face and a big, huge body. 0.33% of the votes. I mean, it's a cow. The others make me uncomfortable. It is a good design, though. It's a giant cow. He's got a dumb little face. I can see why some of you sit there and stare at him like, oh my god, he's so cute. I would love one day to make him like the ultimate power force. Breed them all up, go crazy, condense them all, put all the souls in. That would be actually hilarious. On par with the cow, we do have Lifmunk, which is a shock because I feel like Lifmunk, it's meant to be their like Pikachu or their like Eevee, and it's been so far down is actually a shock. I thought more people would really like him and use him and have like an attachment to him, so I'm shocked here. With 0.34%, we do have Broncherry, so a few places higher than the Aqua version. I do love the design of this. It's just way too slow when you're riding it. You're not really going to be using it much than, you know, having it out in your base and doing stuff. A very beautiful design, but for me, it's just too much of a slow boy. Firin, however we say it. I think this is the first original variant that's going to be lower than its other variant because we've got the dark one. That's interesting. You know what? Only 0.34% of the votes for this mount. This mount's beautiful, but I'm going to guess everyone picked the dark version over it. That's actually crazy that this guy is so low. On par with that, though, we have Penking, which is a shock. The pirate Captain Penguin. I didn't used to like him. I don't know what it was, but he's grown on me a lot recently. With 31 votes, that mean, you know, that's your top 5 favorite. I can see why some of you do like him a lot. And still, with 0.34%, we've got Cativa, Cadaver, another one of them like mascot-esque creatures. I can see why he's so low, but I also wouldn't be shocked if he was a lot higher. I love him. I think he's really cool. I love that he's a coward, but I love how he pretends to be tough. He's very helpful, very early game. Yeah, I mean, like, he might be in my top 10, maybe. Laileen, however we say this one, the beautiful flower girl lady. I like him. I do like the dark version way better, but like, it's a solid creature design. It's pretty strong. It's very pretty. I've got no problems with this one. Suzuka Aqua with only 0.37% of the votes. I thought you guys loved Suzuka. I remember starting this game and playing it and everyone said that's the one you needed. This was the best flying mount. Yet none of you seem to really have it in your top 10 or top 5, in fact. Number 69. We have Van Worm Christ, which I don't know if I'm shocked or not. I wish we had a better creature on this number. But it's an ice version of Van Worm, and Van Worm is a pretty good creature. I guess we just, I don't know. With 0.37% of the votes. Also, we have Univolt, which is the electric unicorn. Great creature design, great mount to actually get as well. A solid POW in this game. I don't have anything to say about this one either, really. And then next we have Vixie, another solid design. It is just a fox that they've tried to make cute, and I think they've done a really good job at it. Very useful in and around the base. Obviously, it drops all the spheres and the arrows and all that stuff. I believe you can upgrade it to drop higher tier spheres, actually, as well. So I can see why a lot of people like this. It's very useful. It is very cute as well. 0.39% of the votes. We've got Felbat, and I am shocked this is this high. I love Felbat. I think it's really, really cool, but I know a lot of people don't. So getting that many votes and being this high up, like, GG's Felbat, well done. 0.4%, we've got Mamarest, the original one. Being this high up over the crystal one, I guess we've all just got fond memories of running down the hill, seeing the boss one and trying to fight it, getting stamped, getting destroyed, and then coming back when we're a high level and capturing it. I think we all have that connection with this guy. And on par with that, we've got Sweeper, which is the big version of Sweet, which has the mustache. I do like this guy a lot. You can actually have him on your team, then have like a team full of Sweet. And this dude can actually become really, really strong. He's just a little bit slow. But look at all that fur. It's a cat. And look at his mustache. It's so cute. Elphadran Aqua is actually a creature I've not seen in the game yet. I didn't realize this was actually a thing until I added it to the poll. It's the same as the dragon, which was really low on the list, but this is like the aqua version. The wings and the little teardrop thing on its head look fire. So I can see why everyone picked this one over the other one, because the design on this it looks sick, man. Up next we have Mao. I love the design of Mao. It's just obviously the Egyptian cat, but seeing it brought to life and walking around the world, I think it's really cool. It's obviously a cat as well. We like cats over here. Yeah, I think, you know, solid entry there. Now, Cremis being this high up, I fully understand. However, I do feel like the face is just way too similar to Eevee. I think they could have changed some of it a little bit. I can see why people like it, though. It is still very cute. Is there enough difference between this and Eevee? I'm not sure totally, but yeah, we got Cremis pretty high up on the list. Petalia, I think that's how we say it, with 0.44% of the votes. I don't mind this design. It's grown on me. It's like a cute fairy girl grass design. We've seen that in other games, but it is really cute, with, you know, 40 votes as well. Clearly a lot of you agree. This one, however, I don't agree with. Pengullet. It's just a penguin. It's just a penguin. I think the reason you don't like it is because you could shoot it out of a rocket launcher, which is what defines Palworld, right? I just don't like the penguin. Dinosaur, the original, is so many places higher than the Lux version, which is crazy. So this is the original. This one looks great. The grass type, it's got like the name Dinosaur, kind of like Dino and Blossom and stuff. It just works so much better. If you compared that to the Lux, which was like, what, pretty much last place? That's wild to see the difference in the variants. Mosander Lux is another one that I don't really care for. The original version I like, but the electric one, I don't know. His mohawk is kind of cool though. Yeah, he's a punk rock panda. 0.49% for Rendrix. Now, I think Rendrix is gorgeous. It's probably one of the best looking mounts you can ride around on. It's just so pretty and elegant, and I absolutely adore the design on it. This would be definitely my top 10 for sure. I think it's just probably going to be knocked down because there's other better mounts to ride around on. That's why it's so low. But if you did just a mounts one, I think this would be like top 3 easy. 0.51% of the votes, we've got the Reptyro, which is the big giant lava lizard dude that lives in the volcano. This is the original version, which means the crystal version's higher. He's a great creature. He's very strong and powerful. He's just a bit too slow, but I don't have any problems with him being this high up. Blazehow, the original version, again, so that means his variant is higher up than him. Being this low is crazy. I thought for sure he and his variant would be like top 10, top 20 maybe. So being down in the 50s is wild. And on par with Blazehow, we have Lambo! 0.52% of the votes in it. What's that? 53rd position. We have Lambo. Lambo is definitely one of their mascot-esque creatures. I know some people shitted on it, saying it's too much of a sheep, but I think they've done enough to make it its own creature. It's got obviously the sheep elements, but with the horns and its little face and its arms and stuff, it's adorable, man. Like, Lambo is a top 10 creature for sure. And with only 2 votes separating Reptile Kristen, the original Reptile, that's kind of crazy. So this one is just slightly higher than the original. I did actually see this dude in a cave, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, he looks better than the original. So I have no problems with this one being slightly higher. In 51st position, we have the greatest creature to ever exist on Palworld, Gumos. I love that you lot have voted Gumos so high. We all love him and his derpy little face, his little tongue that sticks out. He just gets up to so much mischief and stuff. I love that he's so high up. Just beating Gumos, we do have Beacon, is that what we're saying that? The electric bird. At first, I didn't care for this dude, but the more I've played the game, the more I've kind of seen him and about and like riding him and stuff. He is a really cool fly mount, a big giant electric bird. Like, you can't go wrong with that. So climbing into the top 50, we've got Grisbolt with 0.64% of the votes. I mean, Grisbolt's cool. He took a while to grow on me as well, but with the minigun and kind of how big and cuddly he is, like, yeah, he's a pretty decent creature, man. And just beating Grisbolt by a vote, we've got the Relaxosaurus Lux. Now, I don't care for the Lux version of this. It's just Relaxosaurus with a mohawk strapped to his head. I don't know what it is, but for me, I don't vibe with it. But clearly a lot of you really like him, especially enough to put him in your top 5. On par with him, we've got Mosander, which is the Moss Panda, and I like that he's this high up. He's a great creature. We all love pandas, and this panda is covered in moss. It's higher up than its electric version as well, which I also agree with. Solid entry. 0.66% of the votes. I can't pronounce this dude's name, so I'm just going to call him the Stag, but the Terror version. He's all gold. I don't dislike it, but I do prefer the purple one over it. I have heard a lot of people say that they prefer this one over the purple one. So I feel like if this was just one creature, if there was just this or just the purple, then maybe that would be way higher up on the list. I think people have had a split between which one they prefer. Hey, there's Doomud. How can we dislike Doomud? I love that Doomud and Gumos have made it so high up in the list. 0.68% of the votes. He's a big derpy giant fish. What's not to love? This guy's just so... Oh, I love him. This one shocked me massively. 0.69% of the votes. Yes, we like that. Cognito. I did not realize people liked this dude. I mean, his design is fire. His design is so good. And the way he runs is hilarious. But I did not realize that we all loved him that much. That one has got me the most so far. With 0.75% of the votes, we've got Loop Moon, another one that's kind of shocked me. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it. It's kind of one of them like average, maybe like just over average creatures that I probably won't like capture and use, but he is really cool looking, right? Arsox. Oh, good old Arsox. I loved my Arsox. It really helped me defeat the first couple of bosses. He does all your fire stuff. You can ride him. He's a ram. He's on fire. He's just such a cool, solid, good creature, man. And with 69 votes, hey, we've got the other Stag. So it looks like just only a little bit, but this one is preferred over the gold variant slightly. I would agree, though. I think this one just looks better. I just love the purples on it. Phalaris, however we say this one, I didn't like this at first. Again, it's grown on me. It's kind of got the Egyptian style going on with it. I don't know. It is actually really cool. In at number 13, 9th position, we've got Lavender. Hate this creature. We're moving on to the next one. With 0.83% of the votes, we've got Dig Choice. Another one that's kind of shocked me. I mean, he's great for doing the mining stuff, which apparently he's not that great, but he is great. I can't believe that many people said, yeah, he is one of my favorite pals in this game. Tombat, however, I love Tombat. Tombat's design is so sick. It's probably one of the most unique ones we have in the whole game. And I love the whole Tomcat, Tombat, the bat, and it's a cat. And yeah, he just looks so cool, man. Mengasting, which is a scorpion. This one also shocked me. I didn't think people cared for the scorpion that much. But he's so high up. I've not actually played around with him myself, so maybe he is really strong. He's a good fighter. But I just thought he's a scorpion and no one's going to care that much, so that one's wild. Oh, Nox. I freaking love Nox. I think Nox would be top 6, top 7 for me. But with 0.86%, I'm so glad that Nox is so high up. Such an adorable little creature, man. I know it's not the strongest, but like, come on, man. It's Nox. How can you not love that little face? 0.89% of the votes, we've got Van Worm, which I like Van Worm. He was one of my best flyers for a time until I got Hell Zephyr, and then we like kept going up. But I just think it's not a bird, it's more of a dragon. So people, instead of using Nightwing and whatnot, they went for this dude instead. because that's how I did it. So it's a solid choice. So Rayhound also with 0.89% of the votes. I understand why he is so high up. Me personally, I just never vibed with him, but I know he's like the second fastest land mount, I believe, or something like that. I can imagine you lot that have tamed him. You've got speed on him and you're zooming around the desert, collecting all the chests all day. Yeah, he deserves to be this high up. Fenglo with 0.92% of the votes, I feel is exactly where it needs to be. If I was doing a list, this would probably be where I would put it as well. Looks really cool. Looks like a mythical, but it's not. It's just a great design. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just really cool. In at 31st position, we've got Necromus, which is our first legendary, I think, on this list. So which means it's the least like legendary. 0.96% of the votes. I don't disagree. I prefer the light, like the hero version, over the dark one for some reason. But I mean, this dude's sick. Look at it. Look at it. The swords in his arms and stuff. He's dark, and the black and the reds. Like, god damn. Also 0.96%, we got Wixen. I love Wixen. Wixen was in my top 5 for sure. I love everything about them. They're hardworking. They're really cool looking. I love the rivalry they have with Catras. They're just such a neat creature. And being in the 30th position, like, I am very, very happy about that. And with one vote more than Necromus, we have the Palladus, which is like the hero version. So we've got both of these Centaur legendaries with one vote between them. That's crazy, which means we all like them, but everyone's kind of got that one they just like a little more. I agree, though. I think this one is just slightly better than the other one. Incineram Knocked being in spot 28? 0.97% of the votes. That's wild. I mean, he's cool. I used to really like him until I found out his horns are the same horns from the stag. They've just took him off the stag and popped on his head, which did lower the rating for me. I would have him mid, but I don't disagree that people have put him so high. 0.99%. Good old Daydream. How can you not love Daydream? We've all had them really early on. We've all had them following us around, killing stuff when we don't want them to. Solid creature, amazing design. Fully agree where this one goes. And with 1% of the votes, we've got Incineram. So a couple more votes than the dark version. I would definitely agree this one's slightly better. I don't really have much to say about Incineram. He's a dark fire edgelord. With 1.04% of the votes, we've got the Maraf. I can't say that one, but this design is so cool. I love the Powdex entry for this as well. If it becomes your friend, it's because it can smell like you're close to death or something. Like, that's so dark, but so cool. And just the blue flames on him, like, yeah, goddamn. Lily Noct is one of the most prettiest pals we have in this game. 1.1%, 100 votes. I would fully agree. If this was even higher, I would also agree as well. I only saw it a week ago or so and just fell in love with it. It is so pretty. The color scheme on it, it's just mwah, chef's kiss. Next, we've got Hell Zephyr with 1.12% of the votes. And again, I fully agree with this one. This is one of my favorite flying mounts. I love my dark types, and it's got the headpiece with the flames and just how dark it actually looks. It's such a good design. Even the weird kind of, I don't know, what do you call the wing shape? Whatever the wing shape is, like, it's just so unique and so dark and cool. And then on par with him, we've got Ragnarhawk. Now, I didn't like Ragnarhawk back in the day, and then I caught one and saw one. I was like, wow, that dude is actually so fire flame. I do believe this, with some passive skills and souls, can actually be like one of the fastest flyers. So I can see why this one's really high, but I don't disagree with this one at all. Definitely deserves a place here. 1.2% of the votes, 109 votes, we've got Relaxosaurus. What an absolute god. A big derpy dinosaur. Really strong, really powerful. And then you attach like rocket launcher things on his shoulders and he shoots them out, and it's just it's a whole vibe. It's Palworld. He is the definition of Palworld. So in 20th position, making the top 20 is Astagon. Now, this dude is fire. He is so cool looking, but my problem, his body's a bit too chunky, but I feel like if it wasn't chunky, he wouldn't look right. I wouldn't have him in my top 20. He'd probably be in the top 50, but clearly a lot of you really like this dude. I can see why, big, dark, edgy dragon guy. In at number 19, with 1.37% of the votes, we've got Yormantide, which means the Ignis version is higher than him, which is crazy. Interesting, because I actually prefer this one. But this is the water dragon, the likes of Gyarados, all these kind of Chinese mythical dragons. Looks really cool. And the giant alpha boss version of him, when he's just towering over you as you're trying to fight him on the island, that will stick with me forever. I loved fighting him there. It was so cool. He's obviously really powerful, really good at being around the base and stuff. Like, yeah, solid entry. And my top vote, which is coming in at number 18, I'm so glad it's this high up, with 1.37% is Tiefan. I love Tiefan. Tiefan is the greatest creature in this game. It's just a little teapot elephant. It's meant to be a healer. We've obviously made a really powerful one. I don't know if I influenced any of the votes on this, but Tiefan, man, like, it's so adorable. Fully deserves to be the top 20. With 125 votes, Lunaris, which I'm shocked is so high. I'm not opposed to it because I actually love Lunaris. I think it's really, really cool. I did not realize everyone else felt the same about that as well. I love that creature. I wish it wasn't a normal type. I wish it was a dark type, but they do have a lot of darks in the game already. Maybe even an ice type would be cool. But yeah, I mean, look at that thing. It's so sick. This one shocked me massively. Foxparks being in the top 20 is wild. It's a Firefox. We've seen Firefoxes before in every game, right? I don't understand what the attachment is to that. And being so much higher than Ruby. Remember, Ruby was in like the bottom 100. That's wild. I mean, it's cute. I guess it's a flamethrower. I don't know, man. That's blew my mind. Bushy with 1.41% of the votes, though, hasn't blown my mind. This dude's sick. He's so cool. I haven't used him personally, but obviously I've fought him a bunch of times. I've seen loads of people post online about how cool he is. He's a wandering samurai. What is not to like? Foxicle with 1.44% of the votes. I love them. I do feel like they are a little too close resemblance to a Lowen Ninetales, but it's still cute. I mean, this one's only got 3 tails. It's got longer ears, but, you know, an ice fox. An ice fox is an ice fox. But, yeah, I can agree why this one's so high. I love it. I think Foxicle's, like, really cute, really cool. Frost Stallion, only been in 13th position. Interesting, which does mean its variant's going to be higher. Ooh, I actually got my Frost Stallion the other day and fell in love with it instantly. It's a Pegasus. How can you not like a Pegasus? A Frost Pegasus is so cool to just be running around on, then taken to the sky. I'm surprised it's not higher. I thought for sure it'd be in the top 10, so a little bit of a shock. Now this might be the biggest upset, the biggest shock of this whole list. Direhow being in 12th position with 1.55% of the votes? It's a wolf. It's just a wolf. Now, I love my Direhow because we got the speed passive skill on it, but I wouldn't have it in me top 20 maybe. Really? 141 of you think this is your top 5? I mean, you must have some emotional attachment to that. So it's taken me up to this point to realize that I had numbers all wrong, but we're on to number 15. Blazermutt is number 15th, I believe. 1.82% of the votes. Now, I don't disagree with this at all. I would definitely have him in my top 20, maybe top 25. I prefer the kind of cutesy ones a little bit more, so my top 10 would be filled with them. But like this dude, he looks so fire. He looks like something from Monster Hunter or a Final Fantasy game. A big, strong boss dude. Like, you can't go wrong with that. 1.9% of the votes, 172 votes for Depresso. I love that you lot love Depresso so much. I mean, he's such a meme at this point, but just everything about him, just the way he does his work, like, he just doesn't care at all. Like, I fully understand why this dude is so high up on the list, and I would probably have him high as well, to be fair. 1.96% of the votes, we've got Warsect, and I fully agree with this dude. He is so cool. We don't really have that many, like, insect pals, and he's just an absolute unit. I love the color scheme of him. I just love the whole design of him. I can't say anything else about it. He's just so fire. With 2.15% of the votes, we've got Yormantide Ignis, which is the fire one. I love the color scheme. I mean, I think we all love the color scheme. Black and red, like, combined on a monster there's something about it which is so cool. I personally would have switched them around and had my water one higher, but I know this dude is the best for your fire and your base, so I think a lot of people have got an attachment to having them around the base, helping them cook stuff, helping them smelt the metal. Also really strong as well. Fully agree that this dude should be here. Now, if the math is mathing up now, just missing out on the top 10 is going to be the Firing Noct. Now, I love this mount. This would definitely be in my top 5, maybe. Like, I absolutely adore it. But what is crazy is how high this one is compared to the original. I can't remember where the original was, but I'm sure it was under the 100s, or maybe just above 100. This one is the exact same, just the color scheme's different. And that's all they changed. But this one is so liked compared to the other one, which is crazy. But fully agreed, like, this one easy could have made top 10, top 5 even. With 2.44% of the votes, Blaze How Noct. Again, another one that's beat the original. So Blaze How, you know, like I said, is pretty cool. But this one, I think it's just the blue flames and the black on it. They just pop more and just look so much more... I don't even know how to describe it. They just look more... That's what it is. Yeah, top 10 to Blaze How. Coming in at number 9 with 2.52% of the votes is Jetragon. Now, I fully expected this dude to be top 5, maybe even top 3. So this is kind of crazy, but I knew it would be really high up. I mean, he looks sick. He's like the big legendary as well, so everyone's going to like him, and I know his speed is just insane. If you get some added speed on him and fly around the map, like, you are zooming. Number 8 with 2.61%, Orzurk. I cannot believe. I really hate this guy. I don't like him at all. And 237 of you said this is in your top 5? I'm going to guess he's just really, really strong. Like, I just don't like how he looks. I just don't like him at all. It must just be me, because clearly everyone else really likes him. Number 7, however, is not crazy. Frost Stallion Noct with 2.82% of the votes. It's Frost Stallion, but dark, and as we've seen, dark variants seem to be way better. I mean, it looks phenomenal. It looks so cool, especially as we have like a light and dark version of this legendary. It is so sick, and I cannot wait to get my hands on one of them. Number 6, just missing out on the top 5 spot, is Shillet, or Chile, however we want to say it. No shock here. I fully knew this one would be up there in the top 10. I mean, 2.91% of the votes, 264 votes there, beating the legendaries as well. It's so cute. I mean, how can you not love this? It's a dragon, it's a ferret, the color scheme on it, it's so good. I've seen so many fan arts, some weird, but some really cute fan arts to this as well. Like, yeah, this should be their mascot of Palworld. So breaking into the top 5, we have Quiven with 3.24% of the votes, just shy of 300 votes on it. I don't really have anything to say. It's a giant, fluffy dragon, and it's adorable. It is so adorable. I think the Paldex entry was like, for those that cuddle with it at night, get the best sleep, like a heavenly sleep. And I need that. I want that. In at number 4 with 3.31, 300 votes, Kitsune. I have yet to see this or breed this up in my game, but I mean, look at that. It's a Kitsune, it's the fox, it's got the blue flames around its head, the color scheme on it as well. It looks so freaking sick. And again, cannot wait to get my hands on one of them. Oh, I'm excited. So in at 3rd place then with 3.52% of the votes, 319 votes, Shadowbeak. I fully thought this would be either 1, 2, or 3. It's the Griffin, it's the Dark Griffin. Looks sick, looks so cool. Obviously the ability to run and fly, like only having to have one travel mount in your party. I fully agreed this would be top 3. So in 2nd place, just missing out, is Catrus with 3.62% of the votes, 328 votes. Catrus is my favorite. I think I voted for Catrus and Tiefun, and I forget the others, but Catrus and Tiefun are my favorites. Catrus fully deserves to be in 2nd place. Again, seen a lot of fan art, some weird, some really good on Catrus online and stuff. I know a lot of people that love them. Yeah, I just love the whole design of the cat witch, and it's so sick. But that does mean in the 1st spot, the most popular POW, everyone's favorite, Anubis with 4.29%. 389 votes. Ran away with it. This has been in the top spot since the very beginning. I knew people loved Anubis, but I didn't realize people loved Anubis this much. I know he's really good at fighting. I did love fighting him when he does always like jumping around and it's hard to shoot. That was sick. I know he's a great worker. I mean, the votes speak for themselves. We all love Anubis. So there we go. The community voted for their favorite pals. Anubis in top spot, Catras in second, and Shadowbeak in third. I wouldn't disagree, to be fair. I don't like Anubis that much, but I could see why he would be up there. To be fair, apart from Orsurk, the top 10 is pretty solid. So just a little bonus content then. We just went through the countries and what their like top voted creature was. So America, Britain, Canada, Australia all voted for Anubis. That was their top one. We then have Germany and the Netherlands, which had Kitson. Sweden had Frost Stallion Noct. India had Jet Dragon. And South Africa had Shadowbeak. So there we are, the first community voted favorite pals in Palworld. That was really fun. I've enjoyed having a look at the poll, seeing how it changed over the days and stuff. Not too shocked about many of them, but that was really fun. So if you did enjoy it, make sure you are whacking a like, make sure you are subscribing, ring the bell, enable notifications. Let me know if you want me to do one of these in the future, maybe when we get some updates and some DLCs and stuff like that. But thank you very much for hanging out, and yeah, I'll see you all in a bit. Bye.